Hi, in this video lecture I will try to help you out to get started with C, explaining the basic C syntax. We have three main objectives. At the end of the video lecture, we will be able to structure and organize our first C code, hello world. We will understand the basic C syntax. And finally, we will know more about C operators. This is the most important slides of all set and will help you out to get started with C. Now some explanation about the simple C program hello world. A C program, whatever its size, consists of functions and variables. A function contains statements that specify the computing operation to be done. Variables store values used during the computation. C functions are like functions in Python, so this concept should be familiar to you. In our example, we have a function called main. Normally, you are free to give function whatever names you like, but main is a special function. Your program begins executing at the beginning of the main. This means that every program must have a main somewhere. Main will usually call other functions to help perform its job, some that you wrote, and others from libraries that are provided to you. The first line of the program, #include, tells the compiler to include information about the standard input-output library. This line appears at the beginning of many C source files. One method of communicating data between functions is for the calling function to provide a list of values, called arguments, to the function it calls. The parentheses after the function name surround their argument list. In this example, main is defined to be a function that expects no arguments, which is indicated by the empty list, just parentheses, parentheses, with nothing in between. The statements of a function are enclosed in curly bracket. The main function contains only one statement. In this case, we have just the printf statement. A function is called by naming it, followed by a parentheses list of arguments. So in this case, we call the function printf with the argument double quote hello world /n and double quote. Printf is a library function that prints output. In this case, a string of characters between the quotes. A sequence of characters in double quotes like hello world is called a character string or simply string. The sequence /n in C means a new line character. That means that when printed, it advances the output to the left margin on the next line. Note that the /n represents only a single character. /n is an example of escape sequence. It provides a general mechanism for representing hard-to-type or invisible character. Among the others, it provides /t for tab, /b for backspace. Finally, in C, individual statements are terminated by semicolons. One important point about C is that C is not very sensitive on how you are formatting your code. Both of the two programs presented on these slides are exactly the same as far as the compiler is concerned. Of course, there are exceptions. For instance, do not break up words. Use one preprocessor directive per line, and keep quotes on the same line. You cannot split a string on two lines. A typical C code looks like this. We have first the preprocessor directive that starts with the #, #include, and #define. We have the main subroutine that all the C codes need to have. And also we have the functions that the main function can call. This function needs to be defined first with a function prototype. Just give a name of the function, the argument, and the output type. And of course, you need to provide the whole body of the function in the definition. You can see the definition of the function here at the bottom of the slides. In addition, we can define variables outside the function. These variables are called external variables or global. A comment briefly presents what the program does. There are two ways to make a comment in C. First, you can use // for one-line comment, or /*/ for a multi-line comment. Any character between /* and // are ignored by the compiler. It is always a good idea to have some comments in your code, because it improves the readability of your code. A C code line is broken in several tokens by your compiler. A token can be 5 things: a keyword, words that have a special meaning to C compiler. It can be an identifier, a name given to entities, such as variables or function. A literal, a data that is represented directly in the code. It can be an operator, a symbol that tells the compiler to perform a specific operation. Or it can be a punctuator, like a semicolon after using lines, or the curly bracket, for instance. Keywords are words that have a special meaning to the C compiler. There are 32 keywords in C. You cannot redefine keywords, and your identifier cannot have the same spelling as a C keyword. That means, for instance, that you cannot choose a keyword as the name of your variable or function. For instance, you might be tempted to call one constant variable in your code const, but you can't do that, as const is reserved for keyword. An identifier is the name given to entities such as variables or functions. There are a few rules when choosing an identifier. For instance, it should start with a letter or underscore, not a number, for instance. Can be long, but not too long, less than 32 characters. An important point about identifier is that C is case sensitive. That means that a variable defined starting with a capital letter is different from a variable starting with a lowercase letter. See the example here with the variable called hours. Operators are symbols telling the compiler to perform specific mathematical or logical function. C language is rich in built-in operators and provides the following types of operators: arithmetic, relational, logical, bitwise, assignment, and miscellaneous operators. One word of warning when you compare a variable to different values using chaining. Comparison in C do not chain, so what is okay in Python to test if a variable is in the range of 2 values is not okay in C. In C, you're required to use the AND operator, whose symbol in C is ampersand, ampersand. What is the order of evaluation when you have more than 2 operators in a C line? In order to understand the order of evaluation, we need to have 2 concepts, the concept of precedence and associativity. Here we have precedence in the first column of this table. Precedence is the priority for grouping different types of operators with their operands. The second concept is associativity, that regards to operator with same precedence. And it is the order for grouping operands to operators that have the same precedence. So here are some quiz for you on the right part of the slides. What are these 3 expressions evaluate to? And with this quiz, I'm finished with this video lecture. Thank you.